Welcome to the Elevate Podcast, your resource for all things business, brand, and leadership. We are excited you have decided to join us today.
Hey, welcome to the Elevate Podcast. This is the final episode of the year. I'm Robert Kaelin, here with my good friend
Mike Newman. Great to be with you. It's hard to believe we're closing out 2023 this week. Hopefully everybody had a great Christmas holiday time with your family, your friends, and had a wonderful time. And today we're kind of talking about doing some reflection. So why is it important, Robert, for us to do reflection?
You know what? I think it's a lost art. I think reflection is a lost art. And I think if we were to be honest with ourselves, every day when we get home, what's our end of the day routine? We get in bed, we're scrolling on social media. We're not even thinking about our day. We're just trying to escape our day. And what about the end of the year? Same thing. I mean, we're looking forward to the new year. Maybe we're planning some goals, but we're not really looking back on, and I'm not saying all of us, but I am saying a majority of us do this. It makes me think of a story that I shared with you before, Mike, which I was at the YMCA, and I'm sitting here finishing my final lap. You know, you got to do 7 laps around the track to get a mile. I'm on my final stretch, and I see this lady in front of me, and she's walking pretty slow. And I think to myself, I'm like, you know what? I bet I could make it down this straightaway and around the corner before she finishes her next lap. Now, I could beat her to that finish line. And I'm just kind of walking fast, you know, to finish this lap out. And then it occurred to me, like, this lady doesn't even know she's in a race and she's about to lose. And I think reflection often has the same type of effect on us. When we don't actually reflect, we're not running the race and realizing that we're in a race and thinking about it. We're just kind of oblivious and distracted. But when we think about what happened in our last year, what were the successes, what were the wins, what were the struggles, what were the failures, that's when the power really comes from it, where we can take that into 2024, take that into the next year, the next season, and grow from it, become better, and elevate whatever it is that we're doing. And so I love that we're having this conversation as our final episode of 2023, moving into 2024. What does reflection really mean to us? I think it's an art of just saying, hey, look, let's look back. Let's acknowledge the wins, the struggles, the challenges, the ups, the downs, the relationships that were built, all of the things, and take account of it.
Yeah, the ability for people to pause and reflect seems, like you said, to be a lost art. And I think the more quote connected we are, the less connected we are to ourselves.
Yeah.
And what stood out to me as you were talking there about chasing the woman down that she didn't know she was in a race with you, is that's oftentimes how all of our days go. Yeah. We're the one being chased down. And when we pause and reflect, and I'm doing this with a client that I have right now of trying to help them feel better about the things that they're accomplishing, because they haven't felt like they've been accomplishing much. And I sat down with them and explained a few of the things that I've seen in the time I'm working with them. And they go, I forgot about that. Oh, I forgot about that. And it's because, like we were saying a couple episodes back, about the need for us to write things down. And it doesn't take long to do that daily. If you can develop a routine. For me, I plug my phone in my office. It doesn't go into where I sleep. I have an old-fashioned alarm clock that wakes me up when I need to be woken up early. But having some spot where you just stop and a couple of minutes reflect on what was good about my day. What are my hopes for tomorrow? Some things like that are going to move you forward. And that's a simple thing. Another thing that I picked up from a friend of mine, and she's an author, publishing a new book, Morgan Hendricks, and she's sent out, it's been a couple years back, but I printed out again, at Thanksgiving time, and truthfully haven't done anything with it. Been sitting on my desk here, and I thought this is perfect because it's called a gratitude reflection. You can probably find it directly from her at wildandbrave.com, and it's Morgan Hendricks is the person's name that put this stuff together. But we'll make it available to you too. At Robert, I'll ask you to say it so we say it right. How do they?
We'll put it in the description. Actually, we'll just put the website in the description, make it easy for you.
Okay, and then and here's what she has to say. And she's a great coach, a great thinker. Before you start, she says, smile, shake out your body, and breathe. And then she takes you through 5 different questions that we're going to ask you here to think about. But she says each one of them, reflect on them until you get 20 in the list. So you got to go deeper than just yesterday or last week, or for those of you that have great memories, last month. But you got to go, and she says, use your calendar, use your email, use the photos that you have in your phone to jog your memory about things when you get stuck. And so the first one that she has is, what brought you joy this year? What are the things that brought you joy this year? Think about those experiences, the people maybe that you enjoyed, the things you've enjoyed doing, things you've witnessed. They may be small, they may be big. So for me, one of the things that jumped into my mind is just, you've heard me talk about my 2 little grandsons, but the littlest one, when he gets a new idea, he sees something new, he just gets this expression on his face that I'll never forget till the time I die. It's a wonder and amazement of a child that somehow I missed in my own kids when they were growing up, probably because I was too busy. But take a moment and look at those big things, big or small, momentary things that you have that have brought you joy in this year. And think about and reflect on those until you get 20 answers. That means maybe a little less than 2 times a month, you should have something that brought you joy over the last year. The second one, a little bit harder. And so Robert, again, Mike putting you on the spot a little bit, but who has come into your life and taught you something or helped you face a challenge or walked beside you in some way in the last year? Might be somebody new, might be somebody that you've known for a long time, might be somebody that you really don't know, but something that you read or something that you saw in social media or on TV, something like that. Who's helped you face a challenge or walk with you in a difficult time?
I'm going to have to, Mike, I would say you, because you've helped me through so much this last year.
Thank you.
But I have to give credit to my wife, Jackie, because she understands me at a level in which I don't necessarily always understand myself. And she knows when I'm struggling. She knows when things are difficult. She has a great way of just being able to help me change my posture and my attitude, to be able to say, hey, you know what? That was a struggle. That was hard. But what have I learned from that? How am I growing and becoming a better person? Right. What am I learning? And for that, I am 100% grateful. Yeah. One thing that I did think about, this kind of connects back to the first point, which was, I don't know if you guys struggle with this who are listening, but when I ask them, hey, how was your day? And all they have to say is good, I always follow up with, well, what was good about it? Because I feel like I do that too. When I reflect, I'm like, how was my day? Oh, my day was good, or my day was bad, or my day was hard, or my day was unproductive, or, I give myself 1-word answers. And I've done this with my kids. It's helped me to do it for myself, which is, my day was good. Okay, what was good about it? Well, this happened and that happened. I got to hang out with this person, and I had a really good cup of coffee, or, just the little things. And so I want to just go back to that really quick, because it's really important for us to do it, but also to help our people, maybe our kids, maybe our team members, be able to do it as well.
And I think that when we ask questions, we get answers to the questions we ask.
Yeah.
And sometimes reframing those questions, like you said, Robert, of you get the response, you reframe it, and maybe even starting out with reframing the question a little bit differently. So what did you enjoy at school today versus how
Hmm.
was your day? Um,
Yeah.
and I think that gives an opportunity for a bigger discussion and a deeper response. So moving to the,
Yeah. I
go
also,
ahead.
oh, go ahead. I was just going to say, I also like the question of what was the funniest thing that
Mm,
happened today, or what was the best part of your day so far?
yeah,
I think those more pointed questions get better results than how was your day?
yeah. Because how was your day? Good, bad, indifferent. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah. I don't know is probably one of the more common answers. I
haven't
don't
figured
know.
that out yet.
Wasn't even thinking about it. It's not over.
So uh, another question that is there is where have you succeeded, finished something, or survived?
Mm,
Where have you succeeded, finished something, or survived? And so maybe you've had to go through a crisis. Maybe you've, completed a meaningful goal. Maybe
yeah.
you've kept a promise to yourself. Some of us make promises to ourselves. I'm not going to ever do that again.
Hmm.
And that came up, and you succeeded, where you said, I'm not going to do that again. Uh, Maybe you're like me and you made a promise that I'm going to eat less in the holiday season, and you failed at it miserably. But doesn't mean your life's over. Uh, and
Yeah.
so, thinking about areas where you succeeded, finished something, or survived. The next question that she has is one that can bring an emotion to you. Um, what's hurt you this year?
Mm,
What's hurt you this year? And she says that pain carves into us, stress tests our limits, and disappointment can force us to rethink things large and small. This is not a
yeah.
time to put on a brave face and pretend that it's all good. But if you look at
I
something
love
that
that.
hurts you, you can find anything, and you can find anything of value in the tough experience. It's going to take you further than what you've ever thought possible. Something meaningful or
Yeah.
useful or deepening. So, what's hurt you this year, and what value can you find in some way? So, she has two columns in this one. What was the hurt, and what's the value, the use, or the depth that you see in it? Um, so, go ahead.
So I'd love to just take this one a little bit and share a thought, I guess. Um, we've probably all heard it said that we're a lot like tea bags. You don't really know what you're made of until you get in hot water. And I think reflection allows us to take an honest inventory of ourselves. When something challenging happened and we didn't respond in the way in which we would have thought we would have, right? Or the way that we would have liked to have, or it's revealing of our character, or maybe our competencies, and we didn't have those competencies before. And how are we going to take that honest inventory with ourselves and say, look, this is where I'm at, and that's okay. It's where I'm at. What can I take away from it? How can I maybe you were blindsided by it, and you didn't even know that it was something you needed to take an inventory on. But pause right now and reflect on it so that you can do those two columns and say, what was that hurt? And what have I learned? Where can I grow? What things do I need to start changing, maybe, um, or applying to my life to address that?
Yeah.
Maybe it's time for some personal growth. Maybe it's time to start evaluating your real values. So I've often found that when our values don't align with the things that we do, that's when the most frustrations happen.
That's a great point. It's a great point. I think that the hurt for us can be something that happens to us, uh, inflicted from the outside, something that's happened within us, something that, is deeply personal to us, or it can be something that we feel and we see that in the world that just causes pain in your heart, uh, and saying,
Mm-hmm.
okay, what can I do about that? And sometimes we think that, oh, we can't do much about it, but I've come to this thinking in the last few months because of a tragedy that happened that. Um, and we said it earlier on that crucial conversations from a week ago about we don't know what people are going through. And so I think that
Mm-hmm.
one of the hurts for me is that there's probably people I've overlooked, and
Mm-hmm.
slowing down um, to see people where they are. The person always sits by
Mm-hmm.
themselves in a coffee shop. Maybe they're an introvert, but maybe they got some other difficult things going on in their life, and slowing down to take a look at that and to listen to it. Um, so the last one that we have as we wrap up this part about a gratitude reflection is looking to the future. What am I hoping for in the near or distant future? What are some of those goals, those dreams, those unspoken words that I have? What are the hopes that I have that live deep inside me that I haven't ever put down on a piece of paper? Uh, Sometimes we think we've got to wait till we deserve it before we write something down or we express what we want to do. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we can do all that and hold on to it, but hope is something that in and of itself is a powerful gift for you in your life. I have some
Yep.
friends who are going through some difficult health issues, and you begin to look at life a little differently when people close to you struggle with things, and you think, well, that's not fair, or how could that
Yeah.
be? But when I listen to the hope they have, I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. So if you're going
Mm.
through something that's tough right now, hold on to hope. Create a new vision for your
Yeah.
future. See that distant future when you get through that cancer that you're going through, or you get through that difficult relationship, or whatever it is. Create that positive energy behind it by creating hope for what your future is.
That's good. That's really good.
So, uh,
I I'm just going to go back to that because thinking about, I feel like too often, I know this is true in my life. I feel like I'm going to use an analogy of, I don't want to go to the gym because I'm not in shape.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I don't want to go to the gym and get embarrassed because I'm not in shape. I don't want to change something because I'm afraid of what I'll find out about myself. And you guys, life is way too short, way too fragile, way too meaningful to not have you really leaning into what you're called to do and being impactful to the people who are around you. Life is way too powerful for that. And we can't listen to those things. We need to push through those things and say, you know what, there's beauty on the other side. And the hope I have is is bigger than the fear that I have. And I'm going to live in the faith that hope is
that's
bigger.
good. That's good. So, you want to grab that reflection piece that we have. It's in the show notes down there. You can grab that, wildandbrave.com. And again, we really have appreciated all the things that you guys have been able to bring to us as we've been through the 2023 and the podcast. We're looking forward to 2024
Mm-hmm.
and the excitement that we have for a brand new year. So like, subscribe, share this with your friends, and we'll see you in 2024.
That's awesome. Thanks, Mike. You guys take care. God bless.
Thank you for joining us. Our hope is this episode has been helpful for you today. If it's impacted you in some way, we encourage you to share it with someone. To receive a direct notification of our next episode, click the follow button on your favorite app or platform. You can also watch each episode on YouTube. The links are in the description. If you want to connect with us on a deeper level, go to countercultureleadership.com/resources. We'll see you next week on the Elevate Podcast.